This is NEGOTIATEx TV.
So what's this other illustration? I know we had talked about it in the pre-call.
Oh, there's so many, there's so many examples. So one is, why? Because you and I would say that interests are the essential foundation for all the sort of work we do, and the reason that we tried to build working relationships and develop good, effective two-way communication, manage the process well. The reason that we're able then to get creative around options and different possible solutions, find things that are fair, reasonable, defendable, and make commitments that last is because we understand interest. In fact, I would say too, our ability to know our walk away, if we bring in the seventh element there of alternatives, is really enhanced because I know what I'm motivated by. I know what my needs are. And so I like to, another illustration, I mean, just to emphasize why these things are important, is to use Lego blocks. And if you ever take a look back, and again, folks that are just listening, I have on my shelf here, I have one of my favorite Lego sets. I love Legos. They're so much better than when we were kids, Nolan.
We were
This
kids
this
when
is
you were a kid, and then I probably had.
ouch. 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 That hurts. That hurt. Shots
Yep,
fired.
shots fired.
Shots fired, as my wife and I like to say. All right. That is my Seinfeld Lego set. Okay, so it just tells you how much I like Legos. My kids get me a Lego set once a year or so. That was a show about nothing, by the way. I hope ours is a show about something. There you go. There's a little plug. There's a number of good Seinfeld negotiation videos. But if you think of interest versus positions as building blocks, if you negotiate around a position, a demand, okay, the surface level, what somebody wants, that's like uncovering 2 or 3 Lego bricks. And you put these things together. If I can get them put together, you can't build a whole lot, right? There's not a lot of room for creativity what you can create. All right. When you bring an entire bag, and I got an entire bag here, I'm trying to pour it out, but Legos are so cool these days in terms of all the different shapes and sizes, just like interest, right? That they come in. The things you can then build together is just enhanced. So this whole thing that we're going to try to get to around value creation by it's only possible if you understand all the interests that both parties bring, and you're both organizationally and individually.
All right, Aaron. So now that we understand interest really well, let's also think about some of the applications that we've had, in our life. And I know that, there's a story about you in Afghanistan that you like to share to also highlight, where you may have failed in uncovering the interest. Do you want to tell us that story?
Yeah, so absolutely. So in 2010, I was in Afghanistan doing a variety of work. I was working in the National Military Academy. I was doing some kind of freelancing with different organizations too, looking at their key leader engagement. So I was at a FOB with a particular unit. There was a supply truck coming in. It had been attacked, and the commander of the FOB and the police chief who was housed on the FOB with them and they wanted to work together was the desire. That's what the commander wanted, to go out and address this. But he really wanted the police chief to take lead. And so it became this tug of war around positions, which was, you go do it, we'll follow. No, I won't. You go do it. And maybe we'll follow. And it became like this positional debate about who should go. And they fight for about half an hour ineffectively. So no one's going to go deal with this vehicle that's been attacked. Police chief leaves, and the commander just kind of looks at me and says, listen, I know what he's thinking. There's no way around this. I don't particularly find that approach helpful because we're not digging into why not, right? Let's explore the interest. So I followed the police chief out and went to his office, and I said, hey, tell me more. I'm kind of new to the FOB. What's going on here? And he said, I would be more than happy to go address this. He goes, however, communications with the Americans through our current radio systems have been really poor. He says, I am concerned about, not the initial approach, but kind of if there anything happens, kind of the follow up. Are my troops kind of prepared to handle this? And three, he goes, there's a few pieces of equipment we've been asking for some time that we might be able to help us. Right? Those are the interests. Those were the things that he had wanted addressed that never got brought up in the conversation. And so I sat and listened to her for a while, and eventually his sense of kind of pride, which is an interest, right, and being respected, took over, and he said, "I'm going to launch something." And so he ends up launching a response that never gets coordinated with the American unit because the communication is broken down. So in a way, the American commander got kind of the action that he wanted, but it didn't really solve the bigger problem. And what was interesting enough is that night, I'm there again, there at the headquarters again. They pick up on their big eye in the sky camera a couple of guys putting in an IED down the road. Same conversation as earlier that afternoon, like you to go deal with it. No, we won't. We want you to deal with it. And they're back, fighting over positions again versus getting to these underlying interests. So sometimes you can get a behavioral action that you want by negotiating around positions, but it's not really what you wanted, right? You're creating more problems down the road. So that's an example of a failure. Do we have any moment for maybe a success too? Okay, so let me put something maybe more in a business term here. So colleagues of Nolan and myself years ago were advising a company that was buying a number of patents from an individual, and this individual actually made these little cardboard like boxes that that burgers come in. Sometimes you'll see them at like a fast food restaurant, like a little take home box, and that was one of the patents. And they'd gotten most of the terms had been settled except for the final kind of royalty, the ongoing royalty fee. And the company was like, "We're not giving you more than 1% on these patents," and he was insisting for no less than 3%. They're only a couple percentage points off. You can say that's insignificant, but over time, it's actually a fairly good amount of money. And so our colleagues were brought in to help kind of consult on this issue. And the first thing they did is said, "Hey, can we go talk to this individual who you're buying the patents from?" And they said, "Sure." And so they go down to meet with this person, and he says, "Hey," he goes, "Do you even understand the nature of these patents, the things that I'm creating?" I said, "No, we don't. Would you teach us?" Right? Very some openness, right? And that's really important when it comes to interest. And so he takes them down. He shows them one of these machines for these kind of that cut out these burger boxes. Lots of blades, lots of sharp stuff. And he said, "I am concerned that if I sell the patents for this, somebody is eventually going to, lose a finger, lose something, and I'm going to get sued, even though I'm disconnected from it." He goes, "I want protection. I want some way to manage my risk. I need some insurance." And so he goes, that extra percentage allows me to do that. And not only that, he goes, I promised my wife that when I retired and took it easier, we would go on a bit of vacation. I'd like to be able to afford a really nice vacation over to Europe for a few weeks, be able to do something fun. Um, and truth is, I've got other patents that some of these patents that they're asking for, I'm still tinkering with, and I'd still like to do that even though I'm in a semi-retired state. Those were his interests. And once those were taken back to the company said, "Well, gee whiz, we would really like to be able to consult him from time to time. I wonder if we could put him on some sort of like dollar a day or dollar a year sort of program, bring him in, get him on the company insurance. Now he's completely protected if there's ever a lawsuit. Not only that, but if as an employee, we've got some resources, company transportation that can help with that vacation. And we didn't want all the patents in the first place. We thought we had to take them all. We're more than happy for him to keep some of the ones that he's continued to tinker with," right? That solution, which was better for both of them, only came about because I understand the interest. And the punchline is that percentage difference, right? 3 and 1 that they were fighting at, it actually went down to about a half. So it actually went lower because the interest got satisfied, which is the power of interest.
Yeah, and I think that is like super powerful story there, Aram. I mean, it really when you start to understand everybody's interests, I mean, the end result could be that much better because you're able to combine everything. You're able to, identify everything. And like you said, you come up with a much better solution. So great job to our colleagues who figured that one out. That was a pretty cool story.
Yeah, they'll tell you that it was the win-win for the two parties involved, but it was not the win-win-win because
As Michael Scott likes to say.
because they were not they did not bill. They should have billed by the amount of savings they were able to achieve rather than by the hour, because by billing by the hour, they did not come out nearly in as good a shape as if they would have billed based on the savings. Lesson learned.
Hey, thanks for checking out this video on NEGOTIATEx TV. If you found any value at all, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon if you want to be notified of future videos. And then we also have a couple videos over here that you might be interested in checking out. If you in your small business, your team, are looking to get negotiations or leadership training, then you can head over to NEGOTIATEx.com and learn more about the coaching services we offer. Thanks, and I'll see you over in the next video.